Save as many as you can.
First few minutes will be very disorienting. Remember to stay calm and focused. Instincts play a very important part here, so trust me.
Hey everybody, it's JD from Neptune Diaries. Blessed day ever. What's up? So I love the first of the month. Blessed day ever. It's the first of the month. We made it to another month and he still is tarrying. So that's good news because that means you can get some stuff done for him. In the name of Jesus, you can store some treasures up in heaven. All right, so today, it's the first of the month. What I do is I read 5 Psalms and 1 proverb every single day that corresponds with the day of the month. So today, it's the first of the month, right? It's May 1st. That means I read Psalms 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then I read Proverbs 1. So join with me. Ready? Thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming and taking part in this. So Psalms 1, it says, "Blessed is the man who shall not walk in the counsel of the wrong, and shall not stand in the path of sinners, and shall not sit in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the Torah of Yahuwah, and he meditates in his Torah day and night. For he shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of water, that yields its fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither, and whatever he does prospers. The wrong are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind blows away. Therefore the wrong shall not rise in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahuwah knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wrong comes to naught." Wow. So did you catch that? Rapture's in there, harpazo's in there, right? It says right there, the wrong shall not rise in the judgment. So if you've been watching my videos lately, you'll understand. Like, there is this thing called the harpazo, which in fact is judgment. The whole earth is going to see it, right? The whole earth is going to see this. This is Revelation 12. We rise, there's a judgment. Who's getting judged? So that's a really interesting question, right? Who's getting judged? So it's my contention, not those who are rising in the judgment, because we're righteous, covered by the blood of Yeshua. Do you understand? We are made righteous by the blood of Yeshua. So we're going to rise in this thing called the judgment, right? We're going to rise in this thing called the judgment, and we're going to be in the congregation of the righteous. Listen, let's go through it again. Therefore the wrong shall not, Psalms 1 verse 5, therefore the wrong shall not rise in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Well, what is that talking about? That is talking about this congregation that happens, this harpazo that happens, then this judgment that happens. Who's getting judged? It's the fallen angels. It's certainly not us. If we were, didn't Jesus, Yeshua, pay our debt? Didn't he take judgment for us? Come on, you guys, you got to get with me on this. Psalms 1. And what's really interesting here is you're going to see a parallel. I'm going to keep talking about this. I'm telling you, I'm going to talk about this till we get caught away. And here's what happens. Go back and read the Gospels where Yeshua walks by the fig tree, and it doesn't have fruit on the fig tree. And he curses the fig tree, right? And then the next day, him and the disciples are walking by, and the disciples are like, whoa, the fig tree is withered. And he says, why are you marveling at this? You guys are going to do this too. Now, what's really interesting about that is now go juxtapose that statement of the fig tree and the leaves and all that stuff against Revelation 6, right? And against the fig tree, And it's untimely figs getting cast down by a mighty wind, right? What is that mighty wind? My contention is that it's the congregation being gathered together in Psalm 50. And we go up with a shout. Psalms 47:5. Elohim goes up with a shout, with the voice, and it says, shout, Yahuwah, the voice of a sound of a shofar. We go up shouting that. He doesn't come down and then go back up shouting his own name. That's ridiculous. We get caught away, and believe me, if you're one of those ones who's ready to rock and roll and we're going to go be with him, you're going to shout. You're going to declare his righteousness. There's no getting around it. I'm telling you right now, these Psalms are flat out amazing. So it says here, let's go through it quickly again. Blessed is the man who shall not walk in the counsel of the wrong, and shall not stand in the path of sinners, and shall not sit in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the Torah of Yahuwah. Is your delight in the Torah of Yahuwah? And he meditates in his Torah day and night. Do you do this? For he shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of water. Wow. Think about the kingdom of heaven and what it talks about in this stream and living waters. He shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of water that yields its fruit in its season. Well, what season do you think he's talking about here? And whatever he does, and whose leaf does not wither, and whatever he does prospers. The wrong are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind blows away. Wow. Think about all the things that we talked about, right? Think about the kingdom of heaven in Revelation 12 when Michael joins with the messengers and he casts them down. And they get tossed out of heaven once and for all, never to ever be allowed in the heavens again. It's all lining up. Therefore, the wrong shall not rise in the judgment. Okay? So it's very clear what this is talking about. There's a judgment. And it says in the next verse, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahuwah knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wrong comes to naught. So there you go, folks. That's Psalms 1. There it is. There's Rapture. There's Harpazo right in there. It explains everything. That's Revelation 12. It explains it all right here. Right? What's going to happen after the fact? Planted by the rivers of water. I'm telling you, this whole book tells the same story over and over and over again with different layers. That's why it says to study to show yourself approved. That's why, he puts things in here, so if you dig at it, you'll find it. He'll show you stuff. He'll reveal to you what he wants you to see. Okay, so now let's just take it at face value that this, the wrong shall not rise in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Let's accept that this has happened. Now let's move on to Psalms 2. It says, why do the nations rage and the peoples meditate emptiness? The sovereigns of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuwah and against his Messiah. It's right there. It's not against like a mythical, whatever. It's against who? Yahuwah, by name. It says his name right there. There it is. You see that? I hope you do. It says his name. It says that the sovereigns and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuwah and against his Messiah and say, let us tear apart their bonds and throw away their ropes from us. He who is sitting in the heavens laughs. Yahuwah mocks at them. Then he speaks to them in his wrath and troubles them in his rage, saying, but I have set my sovereign on Zion, my set-apart mountain. I inscribe for a law. Yahuwah has said to me, you are my son. Today I have brought you forth. I'm sorry, but aren't we sons of God? Don't we get to be sons of God? He's going to bring us forth. This is what the woman in Revelation 12 is giving birth. Today he has brought... That's Revelation 12. It's right there. Ask of me, and I make the nations your inheritance, and the ends of the earth your possession. Break them with a rod of iron, dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. And now be wise, O sovereigns. Be instructed, you rulers of the earth. Serve Yahuwah with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the chosen, lest he be enraged and you perish in the way, for soon his wrath is to be kindled. Blessed are all those taking refuge in him. Okay. Did you see that? Did you see what I'm trying... Can you see what I'm trying to show you? So the rapture, the harpazos happened. And then it literally says, why do the nations rage and the peoples meditate emptiness? The sovereigns of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuwah and against his Messiah and say... Now, how do they know this? Why? Because the rapture has happened, the harpazo has happened. We've literally gone up with the shout, shouting what? His name, declaring his righteousness. You see what I'm saying? We go up with the shout to be with him. Remember, it says in Psalms 50, he's going to call to the earth from the rising of the sun to its going down. It's going to be a long day. Fire's going to go before him. He's going to call to the heavens.
Gather my saints together to me.
He's going to gather his saints together. He's going to call to the heavens and to the earth. 2 calls to rightly rule his people. This is Jacob's trouble time, right? And they're going to see, they're going to all have known. They're going to have seen it, and they're going to know what just happened. And this is why. Now, at this point, listen, imagine what the world is going to be like when this breaks out, right? So this event's going to happen, and then after this event happens, the sun goes dark, the moon goes dark, and the stars fall from heaven. And we can see in Revelation 6 that an earthquake happens before the sun goes dark, the moon goes dark, and the stars fall from heaven. There's an earthquake. What causes the earthquake? The Father poking his face through and gathering his saints. The voice is going to shake everything. Fire is going to go before. It's going to be crazy. Can you see the layering right now? And then after the fact, after this happens, right? So he says it. It says, okay, so this is where in Psalms 2, it says, let us tear apart their bonds and throw away their ropes from us. He who is sitting in the heavens laughs. Yahuwah mocks at them. Then he speaks to them in his wrath. Now, this is the second part of Psalms 50. Right? You can actually see this play out in Psalms 50 in the second half after he gathers his saints together to him. It says, then he speaks to them in his wrath and troubles them in his rage, saying, but I have set my sovereign on Zion, my set-apart mountain. Imagine that. He's going to literally set his sovereign on Zion. Now, I believe that is us. That is literally the sons of God who go up, the body going up to meet the head. My set-apart mountain, I inscribed for Allah. Yahuwah said to me, you are my son. Today I have brought you forth. Ask of me, and I make the nations your inheritance. Has that happened yet? People want to say that this psalm is about Jesus and what happened at the cross. Did that happen yet? Have the nations been given to him in his inheritance yet? Has that happened? It hasn't. I can tell you right now, because we wouldn't be in the shape that we're in right now. The world would not be. He'd already be here. You get it? Do you get it? This hasn't happened yet. This is coming. This is coming. Okay, ask of me, and listen, this is a note to all the people who still reject Jesus. Ask of me, and I make the nations your inheritance. All they got to do is ask at that point, right? Do you understand? And the ends of the earth your possession. Break them with the rod of iron. Dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. And now be wise, O sovereigns. See, he literally tells you what's going to happen, and then he gives you an admonition or a warning here in verse 10, right? Because this is prophecy. The writer of this, David, this is prophecy. He knew that this was prophecy. David knew. It says in other Psalms that he was having visions. He knew. right? Here's the admonition. Here's the warning. Be instructed, you ruler, and now be wise, O sovereigns, and be instructed, you rulers of the earth. Serve Yahuwah with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the chosen, lest he be enraged, and you perish in the way. For soon his wrath is to be kindled. Blessed are all those taking refuge in him. Wow, that's a lot of stuff, but you can see the progression, right? Psalms 1, it says, therefore the wrong shall not rise in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of righteous. So this righteous. So this thing has happened, and now they know, because there's no secret anymore. The veil has come down in Psalms 1. Do you see? In Psalms 2, man, the earth is reacting. They're raging, right? And you have to understand something. It's my belief that when this all goes down, after the gathering of the saints happens, his voice stops. That pause where it says Salah, I think it's after verse 6 in Psalms 50. I think it's after verse 6, but after the heavens declare his righteousness, it says, for Elohim himself is judge, Salah. I believe that there's a quiet time. There's a quiet time where it appears that he's abandoned them, and that's it. He's like taken his treasure, his chosen possessions, and he's gone home. It appears that way. Think about that. Everyone on earth is going to be just shell-shocked. Plus, not only that, think about what happens. Not only has there been an earth, so not only is there the voice of God, of the Father from heaven, gathering his saints together to him, not only is that happening, but also you have this massive earthquake caused by his voice. Then you have the sun go dark, the moon go dark. Everyone hears judgment happen in heaven. Then the fighting breaks out with Michael and the angels, and then those fallen angels get cast to earth once and for all. And then they show up here in the skin suits. Thus the whole Antichrist and all that stuff. That's when you're going to have this time where they're going to literally persecute the remnants, right? So where it says tribulation saints and all that, listen, when people hear and see what's going on, and they're not a part of that, and they hear the name and they know what happened, it says then, we talked about this in the last video, the enemy's going to throw up. He's going to roar in the midst of those appointments. So there's going to be just, all hell's going to break loose on earth. It's going to be insane. He's going to roar in the midst of those appointments, right? And then they're going to come back, and as the dust is settling, if you will, right? They're going to try to blame it on, oh, well, that's disclosure time. Or, well, that's when they decide, whatever the roaring in the midst of his appointments means, I personally think that means that CERN is going to pop off, and the veil's going to come down on this Revelation 9 where the pit gets open. I think all that stuff happens. Because think about it. When the stars fall from heaven, do you think that's just actual stars that are going to fall from heaven? No, it's not. It's the fallen angels, the ones who have rebelled. That's what's going to happen. That's how it's going to play out. But then, so there's going to be this time of quietude, and they're going to actually think that they can let us tear apart their bonds and throw away their ropes from us. He who is sitting in the heavens laughs. We're going to be laughing at them. Yahuwah mocks at them. The Father is actually going to mock at them. Then, after this time where they think they're going to persecute, then he speaks to them in his wrath. At that point, it's going to be wrath. So however long that time period is, some people say it's going to be 7 years. Some people say it's going to be 3.5 years. That's not really, I have no idea, because what I do know is that the days are going to get cut short. Whatever you think that means, the days are going to get cut short, right? There's going to be this delay at some point in all this. So the timeline, I don't know. I don't really get into that timeline thing. What I do know is that he said to keep watch, for we know not when our Lord will come. We know not when he's going to come, right? So it says keep watch. So what do? I just keep watch. Am I interested in setting dates? No. I'm interested in watching the seasons and seeing what time it is. And I'll tell you what, I think it's time. We're close. As closer than we've ever been. Closer than we've ever been. Closer than yesterday, that's for sure. Right? Did you see what Netanyahu did yesterday? He's all, Israel, Iran's got a bomb. They're going to make a bomb. Blah, blah, blah. They're going to, listen, this whole thing's it's a powder keg about to explode. I don't know how much of that explosion we're going to be here for, but at a certain point, it seems to me that they mess with Jerusalem. It seems to me that they somehow think they're going to take Jerusalem over and make it like an international city or something. I don't know. I reserve the right to be wrong, but that's what it seems to me that's going to happen. So should I go on? I could go on. I'll go on. So, Psalms 3, O Yahuwah, how my adversaries have increased. Think about that. The stars are going to fall from heaven. O Yahuwah, how my adversaries have increased. Many rising up against me. Okay, think about the pit, the bottomless pit opening up. Many are saying of me, there is no deliverance for him in Elohim. Selah. Well, what do you think? Like I just told you, that he's going to go quiet after that for a little bit. It's going to seem like there's no deliverance for the people who are accepting Yeshua as Messiah. But you, O Yahuwah, are a shield for me, my esteem and the one lifting up my head. I cried to Yahuwah with my voice, and he heard me from his set-apart mountain, Salah. I laid down... Okay, so let's talk about that for a quick second. So I personally think I can show you, as we go through, I'm going to do them all, hopefully this month, but I'm going to show you, and I'm going to point it out, where it looks to me like those who have been caught up in the harpazo and they take over the jobs of the fallen, like Psalms 82 says, and they're going to help shepherd the people, right? I think that they're actually going to be part and parcel and take part in whisking them off to this place of safety that the woman gets to go. In Revelation 12. Okay, I cried to Yahuwah with my voice, and he heard me from his set-apart mountain, Salah. Well, we are that set-apart mountain. I actually think that we are that set-apart mountain. Those who have accepted Yeshua, we are part of that mountain. Like, we are that. We are Zion. I reserve the right to be wrong. Somebody prove me wrong. Show me that Zion isn't the spiritual place where he dwells. Prove me wrong. I'd love to know. Listen, I don't sit here and try to be all, I know everything. I don't know much. I just know what he shows me. And what he shows me is this. Psalms 3. Okay, so it's right here. It says, I laid down and slept. I awoke, for Yahuwah sustained me. I am not afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. What does that sound like to you? Could that be that pit opening up and all these things surrounding? Well, I mean, what is in fact going to happen when these scorpion-tailed locusts come buzzing up with faces like men and stuff? I mean, what? I'm not afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. Even if it's just people persecuting them, right? Even if it's just possessed people, whatever. Arise, O Yahuwah, save me, O my Elohim, because you have stricken all my enemies on the cheek. You have broken the teeth of the wrong. Deliverance belongs to Yahuwah. Your blessing is on your people. Salah. So just think about that. When this all starts to go down, if you're left behind and you call on him. Now, I'm not sure exactly the particulars. Again, I just can show you what he shows me. But I do think that his heart is that none should perish. I do think that he's merciful. You know, it sounds ridiculous, but he's merciful even through wrath. Okay, so it's just, I'll just do all 5. Psalms 4. Answer me when I call, O Elohim of my righteousness. You gave relief to me when I was in distress. Show favor to me and hear my prayer. Till when, O you sons of men, would you turn my esteem to shame? Who are the sons of men? Would you love emptiness, seek falsehood? Selah. But know that Yahuwah has separated a lovingly committed one for himself. Yahuwah has separated a lovingly committed one for himself. That has happened. At this point, in this Psalms 4, that has happened. They've witnessed the harpazo. That's the separation of the lovingly committed one for himself. Yahuwah hears when I call to him. Tremble and do not sin. Now, think about this. The age of grace is over. The age of grace is over. So at this point, it's a faith plus works-based situation. Speak within your heart on your bed and be still. Salah. Believe me, when the pit is opened up and all hell's breaking loose down here and these people are being persecuted, they're going to be praying. It's not going to be like party time anymore. It's not going to be like, let's distract ourselves with all these silly television shows and all these silly plans that we've had and all this stuff. It's not going to be like that. It says, slaughterings of righteousness and trust in Yahuwah. Many are saying, who would show us good? Think about this. The time, he's gone silent. The Father's voice has gone silent. Many are saying, who would show us good? Yahuwah, lift up the light of your face upon us. See, they've already seen that happen. They know that he's shown his face once at that harpazo. Yahuwah, lift up the light of your face upon us. You have put more gladness in my heart than in the season that their grain and wine increased. I lie down in peace altogether and sleep. For you alone, O Yahuwah, make me dwell in safety. So now imagine that this is when that booth is happening, right? The whisking away where the woman gets carried off into the wilderness, right? Because you have to understand something. The woman, Israel, is essentially the one who gave birth to the church. You see, they rejected Messiah, and then it came to us. What? Very exciting stuff. One more, Psalms 5. So, Psalms 5. Give ear to my words, O Yahuwah. Consider my meditation. Attend to the voice of my cry, my sovereign and my Elohim, for unto you I pray. O Yahuwah, in the morning you hear my voice. I present myself to you in the morning, and I look up. Now, just on a side note, are you doing that right now? Like, that encapsulates what I do every morning now. I give him the first fruits of my increase, which is my time, and I look up. I get into 5 of these. It's not even that much. Some days they're long, but believe me, when you get to go meet with the Father of the Creator of the universe, you get to go meet with your heavenly Father and say hello, good morning, hey, it's pretty awesome. O Yahuwah, in the morning you hear my voice. And I'll tell you something about that. It's really interesting because as the day progresses, it gets tougher to meet with him, to hear his voice. It's harder. The world gets loud and crazy, and it gets hectic, and it gets distracting. And in the morning, when the world is asleep, man, it's a special time. I can promise you that. If you've never gotten up in the morning and made a habit and gotten into a routine of going to meet with him, I strongly suggest it. Listen, I am the worst of the worst, and it absolutely changed my life for the better. Ask anyone that knows me. It's the truth. Okay, so, O Yahuwah, in the morning you hear my voice. I present myself to you in the morning, and I look up. For you are not an El taking delight in wrong, nor does evil dwell with you. The boasters do not stand before your eyes. You hate all workers of wickedness. You destroy those speaking falsehood. Yahuwah loathes a man of blood and deceit. Now, after the harpazo, believe me, things are going to get insane. And people are going to want to get violent, and they're going to want to engage with violence. I strongly recommend that nobody does. If you happen to have not made that first wave, do not get violent. It says here, you destroy those speaking falsehood. Yahuwah loathes a man of blood and deceit. But I enter your house. In the greatness of your loving commitment, I bow myself towards your set-apart Hakal in your fear. So that Hakal is temple. I bow myself towards your set-apart temple, your holy temple in your fear. O Yahuwah, lead me in your righteousness because of those watching me. Make your way straight before my face, for there is no stability in their mouth. Their inward part is destruction. Their throat is an open burial site. They flatter with their tongue. Declare them guilty, O Elohim. Let them fall by their own counsels. Thrust them away for their many transgressions, because they have rebelled against you. Who do you think they're talking about right here? What just happened? Did the stars not just fall from heaven? Have they not just suddenly popped up on earth? These are going to be those miracle workers and stuff. It's going to be crazy. because they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Remember, after this happens, the scales are going to fall off of Israel's eyes, off of Jacob's eyes. They're going to know who their Messiah is. Let them ever shout for joy, because you shelter them, and let those who love your name exult in you. For you bless the righteous, O Yahuwah. You surround him with favor as with a shield. Thanks for taking the time to come with me. I know that I don't speak that eloquently. I know I stutter a lot and I fumble my words, and please have some patience with me while I sort this stuff out. I don't know what to tell you, but thanks for being patient. Bless you guys. Blessed day ever. I will see you shortly. Take care. God bless you guys. Blessed day ever.
Clock's ticking.
This is going to be exciting. There's going to be an event. It's going to be unlike any event we've ever seen. He's going to call from above to the heavens to gather his saints. We're not going to miss that.
There's just one name that can keep you out of hell, and it's the name of Jesus.